Now we know the role of the parent in education, but obviously then there's the education system itself. Now the South African education system has received a lot of criticism of late. Where do you think our problem lies, and how can this be addressed?
I wrote an article the other day called "Your Children Are My Children," because I believe that all children need to have a same education, and it's going to take a long time for us to get that right. There are only 6,000 out of 30,000 functional schools in this country, and so you've got to really go back to, there is a huge amount of energy and effort that needs to be put into retraining the teachers and supporting the principals and the teachers, because their workload has become enormous. When I talk to teachers, they talk enormously about the admin they have to do and the size of their classes, and that they cannot cope with teaching over and above that. In the area where I'm working now, in a community, there are something 60 and 70 children in a class, and I know that that's almost impossible for one person to work on. And the other day I went to the MEC for Education, called on retired teachers to come to a meeting, and I actually went to the Gallagher estate just to go and chat to some of the teachers to see what was planned, and it made my heart really warm to see more than 3,000 retired teachers who are feeling that they would love to still add to this country. And so hence my Refirement vision is to get as many people seeing education, health and business as three of the areas where there is much opportunity for them to get involved and to find out where their passion is, and then to go into an encore career. That's what I call it. Have an encore career between 55 and 65, or 60 and 70, or 70 and 80. It doesn't really matter. Go and play Scrabble at the school. There are many things you can do.
Speaking of schools and education, the newer curriculums focus a lot more on life skills as opposed to just basic reading, writing and mathematics. Now, with the situation in South Africa, with our vast cultural diversity as well as social issues such as the prevalence of HIV and AIDS, do you think it's a good idea and a good way to go to incorporate these life skills into the curriculum?
I know there's lots of debates around the outcomes-based education versus the rote learning style. And I think we moved from, at Smart Education, we were very involved in outcomes-based education and helping train teachers. And I think there is a lot of good in outcomes-based because it allows thinking and critical thinking. But in a developing nation, it's almost impossible to expect that of teachers when many of them were not able to have that in their past. And so I think we jumped too far across, rather than a middle line that had a balance of both. And so I think, from what I can understand from some of the talks that I'm listening to, is that we're going back to very basic numeracy and literacy testing at grade 3 and grade 6 to ensure that the process of matric results improves over the years, because it's going to be a journey. It's a long journey.
Now, you're clearly passionate about education,
yes.
And during your time with all your educational businesses and endeavors, you won the 1994 Businesswoman of the Year award. Now, what does this accolade mean to you?
I think for me at the time, that was while I was at Smile Education, and I was an area director, and once a year they had an award for the person that had grown the business unit by the most. And for me at that point, it was an accolade of just helping me move forward and encouraging and inspiring me to do more. Because I had possibly worked for 15 years prior to that in my own business. And often when you're in your own business, there is nobody to pat you on the back. It's just between you normally and the bank manager when you need more money or you're struggling. So as an entrepreneur, it was always difficult. So to have joined a company and received an accolade like that helped me enormously to continue. And in learning that, and then being the sales and marketing director after that myself, and moving to be the one who gave and chose the people who got the recognition, there was even more reward in that. Because to see people grow and to rise in their own self-esteem and then be able to give more to others was a gift much more than the award. So,
well, Lynda, before we go, I have to ask this question. Now, you're a retirement coach. You specialize in helping those plan their golden years. But what do you have planned when you reach that number, magic number?
Well, for me, Refirement Network is in its embryo stage, and I really believe that this business, and in helping South Africans to be able to discover their own refinement career, my absolute passion, I'm a social entrepreneur, is to encourage approximately 100,000 South African baby boomers to take on a 10-year encore career in the social sector by educating and communication and connecting across the social sector to bring innovation and change. And so that for me is hopefully something that's going to keep me busy right into my 70s, but simultaneously with a balanced life. I am a granny and I have grandchildren in Thailand, and so I certainly will continue to travel and work virtually. And so I'm designing my life in such a way that I'm able to live the life that I'm teaching.
Lynda, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.